Hello, everyone. After the last couple of weeks doing a pretty big post, I wanted to do something a little easier and smaller this week. So I'm going to do a couple of these tier maker lists. Decided since I'll probably do a post midweek once the play-in round's done, I'll start with this NHL one. That should help give a little bit of an idea of what my biases are with it. Starting with Anaheim, uh, I liked them a lot back when they're the Mighty Ducks. They've kind of fallen off for me recently. I don't really have too many players there that I cheer for, but I don't dislike them. I think they're good in B. Arizona, I normally like them as like an underdog. I like to cheer for them because they're always an underdog, it seems like. But again, they're not really one of my favorites. But I'll put them in A. Boston are one of my least favorite teams. They're right down at the bottom. I don't know if I'd say they're my least favorite, but they're definitely close. Buffalo, liked them with Hasek back in the day. I liked them with Miller and Vanek and Derek Roy. They're starting to come back around now. I like Eichel and I like Skinner, though he had a down year. I'll put them in A as well. Calgary, I'm on and off. I'll cheer for them sometimes, but not always. They're of the Canadian teams, I'd say they're in the upper half, but they're still not a favorite of mine, so I'll put them in B. Carolina, they're another underdog, kind of like Arizona. I really like what they got going on now with Aho and Teravainen, and their defense is great. They play really well as a team together. I'm excited to see how they do this year. I'll put them in A as well. Chicago, great jerseys. I like a lot of the players, but it's kind of they won three in what was it, 5 years? 3 cups in 5 years or 6 years. So it's tough to cheer for them still. I don't dislike them though. I'll put them in B. Colorado, they're one of my team's rivals. I got to put them down in D. Yeah, they got players I like, but I just can't cheer for them at all. Can't give them any support because they're my team's rival. Columbus, I feel very little towards Columbus. They got a lot of energy. It's fun to watch, but I don't really have too much feelings for them. I'll put them in C. Dallas, yeah, they're sometimes they're good. They kind of had a bit of a rivalry with my team, but I don't feel as much like distaste for them as a team as I do with Colorado. I'll put them also in C. Detroit, that's my favorite team. They go right to the top. They've always been my favorite. Edmonton, in the Battle of Alberta, I'll generally cheer for Calgary over them. I don't really have any dislike for them, though, but I'll put them in C. Florida, they're one of my favorite underdog teams. I'll generally cheer for them. The only team I'd cheer against them for is Detroit, so I'll put them at the top. LA, they're kind of like Chicago. Like, I don't really have any distaste for them, but when they won a couple in like a short span, it made me not really want to cheer for them. So I'll put them with Chicago right in B. Minnesota, I've always liked. I like their jerseys. They can be a little boring to watch. They don't have too much excitement on their team, but I always like them. I'll put them in A. Montreal, they're another one of my top favorite teams, so they go right up there. Nashville, kind of feel the same as with Columbus with Nashville. I'd say I'd like them a little bit more, so I might, yeah, I think I'd put them in B. New Jersey, I like them a lot. They've always had good players. players that I enjoyed watching, like Brodeur for a long time, and Aliash, and then Kovalchuk, and now they're kind of in down years, but they're still fun. I'll put them in A. Islanders, I love Barry Trotz. He's doing great things for them. And they've at times had teams where I wanted them to do well, but they are always kind of felt like one of the like forgotten teams to me. I don't know why. I guess because they did so well for a short time and then they just completely fell off for so long, maybe. But I'll put them in B. I don't quite see them on the same level as these teams, but I don't put them down as low as these teams. Rangers, I like what they have now. I've always liked Lundqvist. I'm sad to see him out of the playoffs now. I hope he gets on, like maybe even just as a backup with a contender for next year, but we'll see what happens with him. And I like Panarin being there now. I'll put them right up in the A as well. Ottawa, they're definitely one of the Canadian teams I cheer a little bit more for. When they had that run back in 2017, I was definitely cheering for them. I don't know if I quite put them in A, but I'll put them at the front of B. The Flyers, they're an on and off team. Like sometimes you hate them, but I don't know. They've always brought in players that I really like. I like Mark Streit. I like Kimmo Timonen when they had him. Giroux is, I think, one of the most underrated players in the league. I'll put him or them in A. Pittsburgh, that's maybe my most hated team. I don't want to see them win another cup. They always bring in like a veteran player who I want to see win. Like this year they had Marlowe, and like the last time they won they had Streit. But I can never cheer for them because they've won too much now. And they've been good for too long. Sharks, I like the Sharks. They've always been a favorite of mine. It's sad that like Thornton's probably never going to win a cup. And same goes for Marlowe at this point. But I've always liked them. I'll put them as a high A. I might rearrange these to more reflect how I like them. The Blues, it was nice to see them win the cup last year. But other than that, I don't know. Like I like Binnington. They go in B for me. I don't feel too far in either way for them. Tampa, they're not really an underdog, so they don't have that going for them. But they've got a lot of players that I really like. I like Stamkos. I like Kucherov. He's awesome. Their defense is great. Hedman's stellar. I'll put them also as a high B. Toronto, I have such mixed feelings about. Like back when they had like Sundin, I really liked them. I would have put them up here. And then they kind of fell off and I didn't like them. And of course there's always like the bias that the media has with mostly only showing Toronto and always talking about Toronto. But I do like Matthews. I think he's awesome. Morgan Riley, I think, is an underrated defenseman. So I don't know where to put them really. I'll put them in C because I'd say the media bias and whatnot mostly makes me dislike them. But I do like a lot of the players that they have. Vancouver, that's another one of my least favorite teams. I live near Vancouver, so I hear a lot about it, and a lot of people around me are just fans of them because they're the nearest team without actually looking at who's on the team. Vegas, they're fun. I really like how they've done since coming into the league. I'll put them up here in A. Washington, I'll also put an A because I really like them as well. I like Ovechkin a lot. When they matched up in the finals, I was happy with either team winning. Winnipeg, they're again one of the Canadian teams I cheer more for. I'd say I cheer more for them than I do for Ottawa. So I'll put them right there in A, just ahead of Ottawa. So I'll rearrange some of these. So for the S tier, I'd probably put Montreal just slightly ahead of Florida, but they're basically even. For the A tier, I'll move Buffalo down a bit and maybe put Minnesota up to the front of here. And I'll put, not Winnipeg, Washington ahead of Vegas, because I will say I was slightly more excited that Ovechkin got to win the cup than Vegas winning when they played against each other in the finals. That should be good for that group. For the Bs, I'll put Chicago a little higher. And I'll put St. Louis a little higher too. C's, like I said, I was kind of in between for Toronto, so they're pretty close to actually being up. I'll put the Oilers there. And then for my least favorite, Pittsburgh's least favorite, I think. And I'll put, yeah, that looks right. So that's my tier for the NHL. Next, let's do Star Wars films. Okay, oh, these are in a weird order. So to clarify with the Star Wars films, I like every single one of them. There isn't a single one I dislike. So if I'm putting one down in like D tier, that doesn't mean I dislike the movie. It's just in comparison, it ends up there. And with that said, episode 2 goes down there. And then on the other hand, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite, so I'll put it up there. Force Awakens, that's a good middle tier. Like, it's average. Last Jedi, I made my longest post ever about it, so I think it has to go up there. And I'll put A New Hope right up there with it too. Phantom Menace, I don't dislike it as much as episode 2, but it's pretty close. Return of the Jedi goes right there, not quite on the same level as these three, but it's right behind them. And Rogue One will go there too. Revenge of the Sith, I think goes pretty good right beside Force Awakens. Solo is also right there. And then Rise of Skywalker is also down at the bottom. So I guess I'll rearrange these a little bit. I'd put that one ahead there. And I think that looks pretty much good. Do I want to rearrange any of these? I'll put that one down there. And that one ahead of Revenge of the Sith. There we go. I think that's basically how I'd rank the Star Wars films. That changes day to day, though. Sometimes I like certain ones more than others. What's next? I was going to do the Zelda games. If you watched me when I was doing Twitch streams, I played Zelda a lot. So for these ones, some of these games I haven't played, so this D tier will just be for where I'll put games I haven't played. So this is actually the Game Boy version of A Link to the Past that came with 4 swords. So I'm going to assume they're meaning Four Swords and not A Link to the Past, because they have A Link to the Past right there. Four Swords, I don't know, there wasn't too much to do in it. It was pretty short, and you needed to have other people to play with, so I didn't play it that often because it was tough to organize people to do that. So I'll put it down at the bottom. Link to the Past, though, I think I'll put A. I might move it, though, depending on how I shape out the rest of these. A Link Between Worlds, I thought it was a little overrated. Like, if I had to choose between playing A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, I would choose A Link to the Past. They're pretty similar, but I don't know. I'll put this down here for now. It might move. Breath of the Wild, I haven't played too much of it yet, but what I have played of it, I've really liked. So I'll put it up in A for now. Four Swords Adventures, better than Four Swords, but I don't think I'd put it ahead of A Link Between Worlds, so I'll put it down there. Link's Awakening, I haven't played yet. Majora's Mask is my favorite Zelda game, so that goes right at the top. The original, I think that's solid for B. Like, it's set the par. Ocarina of Time, if you watch my Twitch streams, I played it a lot. It's right up at the top for me. Oracle of Ages is really good. I'd put it just slightly ahead of the original. And same goes for Oracle of Seasons. Phantom Hourglass, I haven't played. Skyward Sword is one of the worst. I don't think it's as bad as the Four Swords games, and not as good as Link Between Worlds, so I'll put that there. I think I'm probably going to end up moving A Link Between Worlds up. Spirit Tracks, I haven't played. Finish Cap, also haven't played. Wind Waker is probably my second favorite, so I'll put it right behind Majora's Mask. Twilight Princess, very good. Definitely goes in the A tier. Where do I want to put it in there? I don't know. I don't think I've played enough of Breath of the Wild to say that I like it more than Twilight Princess. So I'll put it right there. And then Adventure of Link is also one of the worst games. So I'll put it just behind Skyward Sword. And yeah, I think I'll move Link Between Worlds up to there. Otherwise, I think that's the order I like them in. That seems right to me. Okay. Next one we'll do is the Marvel movies. And same goes for this one. The D tier will be ones I haven't watched. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, that's one of the best ones, I'd say. I don't know if I'd quite put it in the S tier, but I'll put it in A. Ant-Man, that one's like pretty good. I don't really feel too strongly about it, but it's not one of the worst ones. Age of Ultron, also I'd put right next to Ant-Man, but worse. Avengers, I think that is a standard A. It's solid, but not quite the best. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I haven't watched yet. Black Panther, that's one of the best ones. That has to go up in S tier. That's the first Captain America. I definitely don't think it's as good as Avengers or Ant-Man, but I don't know that I can put it in C. I'll put it in C for now, but it might move up to B, depending on how the rest of these are looking. Civil War, that's pretty good. I'm thinking high B or low A. I'll put it as low A for now. I haven't watched Captain Marvel. Thor Dark World, that's probably my least favorite one. So that's definitely going in C there. Doctor Strange, it's good. It's not quite A. I think I'd put it ahead of Ant-Man, but in B. Endgame was pretty good. I don't think it fully lived up to what it could have been, but it was good. Thor Ragnarok, that is one of the best ones. I'd put it right at the top for now. I don't know if some other ones might go ahead of it, but right now that's what I'll put there. The first Guardians of the Galaxies I think is better than the second one, and I think is better enough that I'd put it in S tier. Incredible Hulk, that's one of the worst ones. I'll put it down in C. Iron Man 3, it's solid, it's fine. It's not really a favorite or anything like that. I'd put it ahead of Age of Ultron, maybe not quite ahead of Ant-Man. Iron Man 2, definitely not as good as Iron Man 3, so I'll put it down here. It's not as bad as like Hulk or Thor. The original Iron Man, that set the tone for all of the Marvel movies. It still stands up to this day. I don't know if I quite want to put it in S tier, but I'll put it at the top of A tier. Infinity War, this is one of the best ones. I think I'd have a tough time deciding between it and Thor Ragnarok for which one I prefer. I'll put it right behind it. And same goes for both the Spider-Man movies. So they're both up here in this range. I think I slightly prefer Homecoming, so I'll put it ahead. First Thor, also I really don't like. It's not as bad as these two, but it's not great. And Winter Soldier is also one of the best ones. I'll put it just ahead of Guardians of the Galaxy. And with that, I think I'll move Captain America up to B, because I don't put it quite down as low as these ones. Yeah, so that's that one. And then we got a Game of Thrones characters one. This might have spoilers. This is the last one I'm going to do, so if you don't want to get spoiled for Game of Thrones, that was a good time to stop watching. Robert, he's awesome. He's what starts the Game of Thrones, essentially. I'll put him in A. I don't think he's quite a favorite, but he's awesome. Sansa, I have mixed feelings about Sansa. She grows on me as the series goes, but then she also frustrates me sometimes. I'll put her in B. I think she's a good middle grounds one. Arya, she's like one of my favorite characters in the first 4 seasons, and then she kind of becomes boring for a bit, and then she's actually one of the better characters in the last season, so I don't know. I'll put her in S though. Bran, he's pretty boring. I'll put him in C. Rickon is barely a character. Joffrey, he's one of those characters who you love to hate. Like, you just want to see him fail. And I think that makes him really fun. It can really piss you off, but it's fun to watch. I'll put him in A. Jorah, he's great. Sir Friendzone. I'll put him in S. I like him a lot. He's good. Theon, he has one of the most well-written, complete arcs in the entire series. And I think I have to put him in S. Even if I dislike him at times, it's part of how well he's written, I think. And same goes for Littlefinger. Littlefinger is so much fun. The actor, I think, did a great job, though his accent sometimes makes the line deliveries a little rough. But he portrayed the character really well, I thought. The Hound is awesome. He goes right at the top for me right now. Sam, how can you not like Sam? He's super nice. He is, he's the Sam. Every fantasy story needs a Sam. Tyrion, everyone loves Tyrion. He didn't do a whole lot in the last couple seasons, but he really set the tone for the entire series. I'll put him at the top right now. Renly is an interesting case. He he had so much potential, and then just gets ended. um, I don't know. I prefer him to Bran, I think, so I'll put him up here. Roz, she's fun. She's a character completely made up for the series, for the show. She wasn't in the books as far as I know. But she's really well done, I thought. Gior Mormont, he's great. He's probably the reason Sam didn't die. He forbid him to die, which was like the best armor. Gendry, I wish he was in the show more. What he's in of the show is good, but then he's just gone for too long. But I'll put him in A because he's good while he's there. Liza, she's psycho. Put her in C. She's not as annoying as her son, Robin. Actually, no, I don't think I'll put her in C. I'll put her down in D. I don't know. I don't like her enough. She's definitely worse than Bran. Bronn, one of the best characters. He's awesome throughout the entire series. Pycelle, he's another interesting one. Like, I feel like there was supposed to be more to his story, but he was always just kind of a pushover. And I don't know. I'll put him in B. He's fun sometimes, but he's not like a likable character. Varys, he's right there with Littlefinger. He's one of the funnest to watch. His schemes always are really well thought out, and I don't know who gets the upper hand between him and Varys, but they're both great. Loras, he's not in the show that much. When he's there, he's kind of an interesting character. He's also a big reason why there was like the War of Five Kings. Big player in that, so I'll put him right there next to Renly. They seem right next to each other. Cersei, she's the best villain in the series. She goes... I'll put her ahead of Arya. But not quite ahead of the Hound, though. Oh, come on. There we go. Shae, she always annoyed me. I don't know. I know a lot of people really like Shae, but I was never that into her character. I'll put her down in C. Benjen, he just shows up on a horse with a flaming ball. Like, that's his whole thing. Out of nowhere. Put him in C, though, because he's good in the first season. Barristan Selmy, he's a badass that I wish we got to see him fight more than we did. Like, the fight that we do see him in, he's pretty awesome in, but I wish we got to see more of him. Not that we don't see him that much, but just fighting, I wish we got to see more of that. Khal Drogo, he's a badass. Kind of goes out not the most badass, but yeah. He goes up in S tier. Hodor, he goes up in S tier for sure. I'll put him right next to Sam. Lancel, he goes in C. He does more than I think. Like, when you're first watching through it, you don't really pay too much attention to Lancel, I feel like, and I think that's how he's supposed to be, like this character that is really easily forgettable, but he actually does more than you realize. Luwin, he's a nice character. He sets Bran on his way. I'll put him in A. Alistair, of course, he's a character that you love to hate. He's definitely not as prominent as like Cersei or Joffrey, uh, but I'll put him in B. He has some badass moments too. Uh, Osha, I don't know how to feel about Osha. She's fine when she's there, but then she's just gone for a while, and then she comes back briefly, and then that's it. I don't really know. I'll put her in C. I'll put her right next to Bran. Maester Aemon, he's great. He says like all like the best, like wisest words. Put him right next to Sam. Catelyn, she's like the prototypical mom character, very protective. I wish they'd done more of the stuff that they do with her character in the books in the series, but still what they did was good. Talisa, I'm not sure if they were meaning to have more with her character or not. It kind of seemed like there's the possibility for it. There's like some theories about maybe she was actually a spy, which is interesting. I'll put her in B. I'll put her as right behind Sansa. Brienne, she's one of the best characters. She goes right up here with the Hound. Sir Davos, that's maybe my favorite character. He goes right at the very top. Tywin, also a fun villain. I'll put him at the top of A. I don't quite put him in S, I don't think. Stannis, he's another character that I wish they did more like the books, but he is one of my favorites. So I'll put him right there next to Davos. Marjorie, she's awesome. She's always doing good things. She's one of like the smartest characters in the series. Like she doesn't really mess up. It's other people that kind of mess her up. Put her right next to Cersei. Ygritte was also one of my favorites. She goes right to the top. Actually, yeah, I'll put her right there next to Davos. Balon, he does like nothing. He's barely a character. Roose Bolton, he's actually pretty cool. And I really like the actor that plays him. I think he did a really good job of playing that like cold, calculating. I'll put him next to Tywin because they are actually quite similar, I'd say. Gilly, she's nice. She doesn't do a whole lot. She's kind of a character who's just kind of along for the ride with Sam. I'll put her in B. Jaime, another one of my favorites. Put him right up here with Tyrion and Bronn. They all go together. And Podrick can hang out with them too. Melisandre, she's another one of those characters that you kind of love to hate. She does some really good things though too, so I'll put her in A. I think she's an interesting character. I don't necessarily like her, but I like her character, if that makes any sense. Yara, she's barely in the show. When she's there, she's pretty cool though, but I don't know. I'll put her at the top of C. Why can I not? Jaqen. I couldn't think of his name for a second there. He starts out really badass, but then like the story that surrounds him gets really boring. To me, anyways. But I guess like still he is fun, so I don't know. I'll put him in A. Grey Worm, he's okay. He's not like he doesn't have like much of a personality, but he's cool. He does some pretty badass stuff. He's one of the best fighters in the series, that's for sure. Lord Beric Dondarrion, he's awesome. The actor who plays him has like the best voice. Could just listen to him talk forever. It's so smooth. Missandei, I think she has more personality than Grey Worm does, but Yeah, yeah, I'll put her high B or high A. I mean, um, Mance Raider. He's another character. There's more that they could have done with, like, based on the books, but for what we got, he's okay. He's not in the show a whole lot, but I'll put him in B. Tormund, he's so much fun. He's a great character. Just a lot of fun to watch. Um, I'll put him right there. Ramsay, he's of the characters you love to hate. He's probably my favorite one. I'll put him right above Cersei. I know that contradicts my claim that she's the best villain, but as a character, I don't know. Maybe I'll actually switch that, because I do think that Cersei is a better villain and a better character in general. But I do love to watch Ramsay be his crazy self. Daenerys, I loved her in the first season, and then she was just slowly downhill each season after that. And I think I'll end with her on B. Well, she had seasons 1 and 3. I think she's good, really good in. Then she's kind of nothing in a couple seasons, and then yeah, if people watch the series, they know. Lady Olenna, she's a fun character. She's she's got so many great, like, hilarious lines. I'll put her right in there. Thoros, he's not in the series that much either, but he's a lot of fun when he is there. I'll put him high A. Orell, he's a very hateable character. I didn't really enjoy him. Love Mackenzie Crook, though. He's awesome. Qyburn, I feel like Qyburn doesn't get the props he deserves. Like, definitely crazy and not a great person, but, he's Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein, that is, not the monster. The Blackfish, I wish he was in the series a lot more. Like, he's like such a fun, like, older, like, he could be like right there. Like, if him and Lady Olenna had a conversation, that would be like so much fun. I don't know if he's in the series enough for me to put him in an S, though, so I'll put him as a high A. Come on. Oh, had it for a second there. Tommen, he is like as milquetoast as it gets. Let's put him right next to Bran. Dario, I really liked the actor who played him at first, and then they switched to this guy. And not that this guy's bad, I just really enjoyed the first guy. But Dario as a character, I think, fits good in A. Let's put him right next to Grey Worm. He has more of a personality than Grey Worm, but yeah. Oberyn, while he's there, he's the best character around, but he's not there for long. Yeah, him and Drogo are like actually quite similar, I'd say. Ilaria, her storyline is one of the worst. I wouldn't put her quite down in D, but I'll put her there because of who's going to end up down there. Myrcella, she's not around too much. I liked her when she's there, even though the storyline around her isn't the best. But I liked her. Viserys, he's like the first villain. I don't know, he's fun to see fail, and he fails hard. I'll put him in B. And then all three of the sand snakes here, they go down here. Right down there. I'll put her ahead just because she's got a couple of okay lines, but they're not delivered very well. The acting for those three was just kind of a mess. The High Sparrow. He's another one that you love to hate. Like, I don't know, he represents so much that is in the real world as well. I'll put him in A, but I'm just trying to decide where to put him. I think right there. Ahead of Qyburn, not ahead of Daenerys. Actually, I should move Daenerys up. She's not quite down with those ones. I'll put her there. Tristan, he also goes down here. And same with Doran. Euron, I had fun with Euron. He's not the best character by any means, but I had fun with him. That's why he doesn't end up in D. Lady Crane, I think that was her name. She's good while she's there. She's a very minor character. Mirri Maz, love to see her fail. I'll not quite to the same degree as Viserys. I'll put her in C. Randall Tarley, he's kind of a dick. Didn't really like him, but I kind of understand his character, so I'll put him in B. Jon Snow, he's likable. Tough not to like Jon Snow. He's not the most interesting character, but he's definitely likable. I don't know this character's name, but it's Richard E. Grant, and I'm going to put him in A because I like Richard E. Grant. I forget what this guy's name was. It was Brother Ray. That's what it is. He's a very minor character as well, but he's really good while he's there. So I'll put him up in A. I can't remember this character's name either. He's like the Grand Mace, or not the Grand Mace, Archmaester. He was kind of, I like the actor a lot, but the character was kind of annoying. I'll put him in B. And then Robb Stark, I'll put him in A. He's kind of the Starks, he's kind of a middling one, but yeah, actually, I'll put him down here. I don't know if I can put him ahead of Sansa. And then Ned Stark is definitely S tier. He goes right up here with Tyrion. And I think that pretty much looks right for it. Yeah, that was all of them that I had prepared. I might cut parts of this out just to make it a little shorter, but yeah. And then I'll expect another post later on in the week after the NHL play-in round's done. Yeah, thanks for watching.